My name's Mandeep Dhami. I'm the European Decision Support Site Lead at Pfizer, based in a place called Waternoaks in Tadworth. And I've been with Pfizer for 15 years, so almost born and bred Pfizer. And I've been able to almost build up my career within Pfizer through 8 different opportunities. Been very fortunate that I've been part of a finance organization that's been growing since when I joined back in 2001, working both in commercial finance, working in animal health finance, working in what we call regional finance, and then more recently in 2011 we set up the Decision Support COE. Essentially my expertise, having worked in commercial finance, was hopefully instrumental to help set up that centre. I wasn't a recipient of the decision support services, but having been on that side, I knew exactly what a business partner would want from a decision support type of services, which is why I was given the lead role to help establish it back in 2011. And then during the course of the last 5 years, I was one of the relationship managers, essentially a team lead, managing a whole host of markets. And then within the last 2 years, I became the European site lead now, managing a team of 26 colleagues within the onshore team, as well as an offshore team based in Jam-Packed in India. So the need itself arose back in 2007. So our CFO, Frank D'Amelio, joined Pfizer. And his first question was, well, tell me how much finance is costing. Well, how much is my finance cost? And at that point, finance was embedded within the market structure. So essentially a UK finance person was being rolled up into the UK organization. And what Frank's question was, can we split finance and BT and HR, those are what we call those enabling functions, can we split them out and have them reporting into their operational lines globally? So when we were able to carve finance out, when Frank looked at the cost of finance as a percentage of total revenues, he realized that we were nowhere close to almost the industry average and even the other multinational average as well. So that sort of came upon what we called Finance One. And Finance One was this big umbrella in terms of number of finance initiatives, and the decision support was essentially one of those initiatives that sort of originated from that concept. And that concept really came about was when we went into countries to understand exactly the type of activities or decision support type of activities that were being done, we realized that there was an opportunity being missed, that we could look to standardize, optimize and automate a lot of the activities that were happening. Essentially, there were a lot of duplicates happening country by country and a lot of complexity. And by centralizing it, we knew that we could gain a lot of efficiencies. And essentially, that was what we call the whole ink to paper philosophy that came about. But also to ask the finance business partners, rather than spending your time data validation, reconciling numbers, doing what we say cost of sales, running your own standard management reports, rely on a central hub to do that so you can spend more time business partnering. And I think the sort of the key terminology that comes back from Frank is, while I'm the CFO for Pfizer, I want you to become a mini CFO of your business unit within your market. Drive that business support strategy activity and rely on the decision support to provide you those more traditional decision support services so that you can free up your capacity to do so. In terms of decision making, so if I was now sitting as a business partner, so remembering I was a business partner, and if I took a time study of what I was doing on a sort of day-to-day basis, I would be spending a lot of time personally myself running my own reports, checking numbers between systems. What the enabler of the decision support enabled was almost by freeing up my time as a finance business partner, I could go and spend more time in meetings with the senior leadership team within the business units, helping to drive strategy, helping to do investment analysis, ROI calculations, to really be a true mini CFO within that organization. And I feel that we've enabled that. We've given those finance business partners the opportunity to be able to do that. We're part of a slightly different organization. We're part of the shared service structure. We all roll up into finance, and so does commercial finance. Essentially, we knew what our remit was, and we focused on making sure that we delivered on our remit. And also commercial finance needed to make sure that now that we freed up their time, really they needed to focus on doing more of that business partnering and being leaders. And the feedback that we do receive, and we do often do pulse surveys, is that we are generating more value in the commercial finance space because they are spending more time in those sort of more strategic meetings and when we're doing operating plans or latest forecast estimate, whereas before they were bogged down in doing all these other traditional type of activities And now I think they really see the value of what the decision support can bring. I think with any sort of new initiative will come with challenges, of course, and I think it's how you take those challenges and almost when you are establishing those sites somewhere else, making sure that you sort of take advantages of those. So just to give you an example, so today we're going into Latin America and we're also going to APAC. And we've taken those learnings over the last 5 years and almost making sure that we turn them into as many advantages as possible. So a couple of them would be making sure that we have what we call finance working groups. Of course, we have a very big organization and therefore not everybody can contribute in terms of what's happening in terms of the establishment of the decision support. And of course, there's other initiatives happening with mergers and acquisitions, etc. So what we do is we rely on what we call finance working group representative, which is one person in every country who represents that market. So any feedback will be centered around them and they bring it back to the decision support. And I think one of the things that we noted previously is perhaps we should have started that up a little quicker. And I think that's one of the learnings that we've almost, as soon as we knew we were going to expand to those new sites, we've set them up almost immediately. The other piece is change management. I think change management is inevitable with everything. And I think I've touched on this before in conversations I've had in the past, but we refer to this word as supportive resistance. So this is very much a top-down approach. This is coming from our CFO. But of course, the changing and change management, of course, takes time. And what we can do is provide them the tools and the capabilities to be able to have sometimes those challenging conversations with the commercial leaders to say, well, you used to get a sales report in this format, but you know what, you're now going to get it in a slightly different format, but it has the same information. The look and feel may be different. So I think managing that is very, very, very important. And I think that's the piece that our commercial finance are a little bit skeptical about, but again, we can help them to achieve that.